Hey everybody, welcome back to Mega Man 2 Game Boy. This should be the finale. This might actually end up being a really short part, but thought this might need it to be split up into 3 parts. We'll see. I believe this final stage is fairly long. Oh boy. Looks like all the items got restored. Oh, actually no. That's just a product of me having to load a fresh save file because this ROM keeps crashing. Oh. Okay. Yeah, this stage has a few weird screens like that where you can just completely miss stuff. Because as we all know, putting missable items that's really good level design. Oh. So about Sakugarne, it operates just the same way that it did in Quince Fight. It's like a little pogo stick you can ride around on and damage enemies with the bottom of, theoretically, if it worked. But it's really not very great. It's the weakness of the final boss, and it does a poor job even doing that. Fun fact, I believe in the original game, on this screen, or the one above it, there's a misplaced cannon tile that otherwise goes unused. Check the cutting room floor or, like, Mega Man Wiki for more info, but there is indeed... What the hell? How's that hitting me? I'm not even close. Okay, whatever. There is indeed a misplaced tile on that screen. So, something interesting to note that I cannot show you myself because it is not here. But that is alright. This final stage will test your metal in a few different ways, and to give you another very rare opportunity to use Rush Marine. Just like in Mega Man 3 and 4, not particularly useful here, which is a shame in some ways. You won't be needing... Those are immune? Seriously? Interesting. Not a very smartly programmed immunity, in my opinion. You want to hit something that's above you. Air shooter should be your go-to, but I suppose not. Just make everything vulnerable to the metal blades. That's classic Mega Man 2 design philosophy. Oh, there were blocks. I did not see them. Okay, there we go. Rush didn't magnetically clip to my feet the first time. Got a whole host of returning gimmicks here. Oh yeah, even lightning boards are back. Little life drop. Not that I really needed it. You can skip most of this with Rush Jet. Floating spikes. Interesting. I really don't like it. There's a couple of other screens in the game that do this, but just geometry that leads nowhere, which looks weird. Did any of the other stages in this game have worms? Oh, okay. Actually, that was a pretty short stage. I guess I was wrong. Dang, so this could have been another 2-parter after all. Yeah, yeah, actually, that's, like, so egregious that I might genuinely have to go back and edit that. So, as you can see here, you can sometimes damage Wily with the Sakugarne, but it's such a piece of shit, you shouldn't even bother. This Wily machine looks really funny, by the way. I like how it's just barely taller than Mega Man. The perspective is actually even worse in the original. This ROM changes the sprite to look a little less strange. But in the original, it's just this towering machine that's the same size as Mega Man, so it makes Mega Man look like some sort of giant. I'm just gonna use up all the E-tanks here, because why not? Didn't really get a chance to use some of the weapons at all. Magnet Missile, I think I didn't fire off a single time, but you don't need it. No point. Actually, you know, this episode might... The length might be warranted, based on the endgame commentary, but who knows. This 3-stage final boss is a little strange. This hitbox is very badly aligned. See how far you can shoot above it, and it still hits the skull for some reason. Meanwhile, if you shoot directly at it, it doesn't make contact at all. Always found that to be weird. Let's also not die here. That would kind of suck. So yeah, don't actually use Sakugarne in this fight. It breaks the Mega Man Game Boy trend of the final boss being susceptible to the killer weapon. In this case, it just puts you at risk. I also really love how Mega Man absorbs just nothing from this boss fight. And this time, he doesn't let Wily get away. He's gonna blow him straight back to Earth. Bam. And presumably Wily dies in a fiery crash. Yeah. Not sure how anybody would have survived that, but we'll trust video game logic, I suppose. Just like the first game, we get a little enemy roll style credits scene, which is nice. Nothing particularly interesting to say about this enemy scene. The original has some translation issues, just as the first game did. Very similar things, L's and R's being mixed up. Some enemies being called, they're like Japanese names, others English. This version of the ending sequence is a little less ear-grating than the original for sure. It's also slower, which is interesting. Not much wrap-up on the lore of this game either. A bunch of robots show up. Quint shows up with no explanation, gets shot, leaves. Yeah, early era Nintendo games are really funny for just... I mean, that's how it was back in the day. Just presenting something with not very much build-up and just making the gameplay the centerpiece make sense. Toy Die, that's interesting. I think that thing is just called, like, canon or something in English. Not sure what the order for this enemy crawl is, by the way. It seems like they're listed kind of at random. I don't know if there were any Flyboys minus that one room in Crashman stage. I don't remember seeing any anywhere else. Springers. Oh, Mega Man's face briefly disappeared. Mole. Robert. Yeah, this definitely goes on for a while. I suppose I'll start discussing my overall thoughts. Hook. That's, yeah, Comic Chicken is funny. Either way, my thoughts on this game are fairly similar to the first, Dr. Wily's Revenge. There's not a whole lot of reason to play this game in this day and age. The non-remixed tracks, the original OST that this game has, like pretty much all of it is original, is probably the most interesting thing about it, to be quite frank. Because most of the levels are close to ports of their original versions. It's especially noticeable with the Mega Man 3 stages. I feel like the Mega Man 2 stages have slightly more variance, although maybe it's just Metal Man stage that makes me think that, with a slightly different layout, but this game does a good job at what it sets out to do, which is bring Mega Man 2 and 3 to portable devices, so can't knock the developers too much. I do understand why these guys weren't brought back to do any of the other Mega Man titles, though, because this game just feels generally off compared to the other Mega Man Game Boy titles. Not only with the kind of weird spriting choices, the physics, which feel bizarre and janky, but just the general vibe of the game has this kind of unpolished atmosphere to it, and it makes sense since the studio that was responsible for this project hadn't worked on any Mega Man games and didn't have very much knowledge of the series overall. Probably why they leaned so heavily to just mostly remaking the source levels as closely as they could, and then the original content is mostly comedic relief as far as Mega Man goes. I mean, the concept of Quint, time travel, etc. It's all played for laughs, it's played for comedy. And it works, I would say. This game isn't bad or anything. Does it just end after this point? Oh, okay. I was about to say, we should at least get a thank you for playing, I would hope. But either way, yeah. Solid title. Not really a must-play by any stretch of the imagination. I've played this one a few times here and there. But it's not one I would say is a must-play. If you're a fan of this series, go for it, though. It's kind of a fun and slightly different experience than just playing the NES originals, but by no means a must-play in my books. I have very little else to say about this project, but it's been fun going through it. I've been having fun recording these Mega Man and Game Boy videos just as a kind of way to ease back into things, or perhaps out of things with the Magma Wolf 3 playthrough and other projects that require more brain power. These ones are pretty self-explanatory. Either way, I'll catch you guys next time, most likely for Mega Man 3 Game Boy or Rockman World 3, whichever you prefer. Thank you all for watching. This is Xeno, signing off.